Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Got kind of a different thing today. I've got to modify a aftermarket part again. I received my switch for the Twin Jet 90, I think we're calling it, ignition switch. And apparently there's a couple, two or three different ones. And of course I got the wrong one. It looks pretty close, but it's not going to work the way it is, and it's going to take a modification to get it to work with my application here, and instead of sending it back to Singapore, which is just a no, just not going to do it. It's got enough wires on it, it's got the proper amount of wires, and it's just a mounting problem more than anything. So let me get you overhead here and I'll show you what I'm going to deal with. All right, this is what I've got. And I thought a couple different ways of maybe trying to fix this, but probably the best way to do it is what I've come up with. You can see here that right offhand that the mounting, okay, this one is pretty much in the right spot. The wire comes out a little bit higher than this one over here. But if you've got these oriented close, then you can see what the problem is here. But that's not the only issue. The other issue is that it's taller. And that in itself would not be a big problem, except that the nut that goes on this to hold the side cover on won't tighten up. So it's got to be shorter. And I've looked at several different things here. You know, the first obvious thing was to unsolder these or unweld them and swap them out. And I can't do that because it looks like this piece here was put on top of this. It doesn't fit over it. So I'm not sure what I'd be getting into there. And plus, once you've disconnected this, broken the weld or whatever, you're going to have to re-weld it. And I don't think that's the best thing to do to a switch. So, see, the whole problem here is somebody took out the key. And the whole key portion is missing. So, you just, once you do this, the stops and everything are out of sync, and the thing will just move around and around and around, and you never know where you are unless you mark it somehow. And that's what happened on the TC 125 that I did too. The old switch was just boogered up so bad that you never knew where you were at. So anyhow, I'm not going to try to change anything here. So what it is these standoffs. I think I can come in and rebend those, excuse me, and put get them down lower like this one. And then, excuse me, got something in my throat here. Anyhow. The one we can get to work. The other one, I'm just going to bend it down like I was saying. We may have to drill the hole a little different. Okay, I think I've got that clear. Anyhow, I think what we'll end up doing is once I get this bent to where, both of these bent to where it's low enough, then I think I'm going to weld a piece onto here. I can do that quickly and not let it heat up. Just a piece to come over to the other hole. Then I'll drill it to fit the other hole. The side cover will cover all that up. But, I had no idea there were all these different ones. And I went back online and looked at the other ones, and lo and behold, they've got them just like this. I just ordered the wrong one. You know, I just thought that one YL100 was just like all the rest of them, but they aren't. And even though this bike I've got is not a YL100, it still uses this, the 100 uses this just like this one does. So anyhow, that's where we're at. I'm going to take you over and show you what I'm going to have to do on the machine now. Okay. You can see how this one is oriented. The wires come down a little bit more at an angle. I don't think that's going to be an issue to me. It's just going to come out up here a little further up. I just want to show you how this orients with the cover. See, the switch part itself here fits way down below the surface of this right here, so that when you put this nut on, you know, it keeps the side cover tight and you still can get to your switch. Now, let's take this off and look at the other one. Oh, I don't know what I got in my throat today. Okay, and we'll just mount this one like we did the other one. And you can see where this hole is offline here. And we get this on. Actually, we've got to move it down a little bit more. Twist it, just like that. But you see now how this comes up flush with this. So it's got to fit lower in order for this piece to fit inside there. So right now, if I screw this on here, it screws on, but it really doesn't do anything. Well, it kind of does, but it's supposed to go in further. Let me get you off here so you can see the other side. See, this area right here is supposed to actually go inside the cover. This flat portion right here should be against this area right here. Okay, so we've got to lower this down to the height of the other one, and then instead of just drilling a hole here, which I just really don't want to do, I'm going to add a little piece of strapping to come over to this other hole. Something like this. This is not what I'm going to use, but just another piece of a strap that'll come over to this hole. Then I'll drill that to fit the original hole, and I can apply some heat sink right here so that the switch won't absorb as much heat, and I can just put the strap underneath it, get it where I want it, tack it, and then take it off and rosette weld it right in the middle. It shouldn't take very long to do that, and I can keep the heat away from the switch. But I think that's what we're going to have to do. But the first thing is to get it as low as the other one to start with. Okay, so the first kind of thing here on my itinerary, I think, is just to bend this to back out straight, and then I'm kind of getting, it's just about as flat as it can go, so about 820 thousandths there, or not thousandths, .819, we'll call it. Really, essentially, all we've got to do is have enough space here for the wiring so that nothing's going to touch underneath. So I'm looking at about right there, maybe. Let's see how close I got to that. It's off a little bit. As long as the nut will tighten and we can still get our switch mounted, that's all we're really looking for. Okay, so that's pretty close. I guess I'll take it over there and see if I can get my nut to tighten up as much as I need it to. And actually, I think right here I'm a little bit it's pulling away. I think I need to be a little higher. To clear for the wiring. Okay, let's take it over there and see what it does. Okay, so the next thing we've done now is we've moved this bolt hole out. So we're going to have to get it close to where it was, or should be. See. Nope, doing the wrong one. Actually, it probably needs done too, but I need this one. This is the one I've been bolting up. And just kind of match up the round portion of the switch there. Okay. I can get it to work with it by using this, but it really throws the other side off, and it's by the time you move it so that it fits, the side cover fits on it, it's pretty extreme. So we'll see if we can extend that hole over. All right, I'm going to grind on this a little bit. We've got these holes. So I'm going to tape over those. I don't want any, looks like it's just there in the end here, so tape over that so we don't have any filings getting in there. I think that's about it. Let's see, and this is the one I've been bolting up right here. Okay, we'll take that over and see how that looks. Okay, I think, see, that allows us to be centered in this hole that's behind it. so this can fit low enough that those contacts are not going to touch on the back. And it gets this recessed. It's setting up a little bit because the other bolt hole is not tightened up yet, but once it is, I think we're going to be right on the money. The one thing I need to do is I need to place that strap on top of here, not below it, because if I put it below it, then it's going to raise it up. So I need it to be below, or above rather. And I just need to get a final, give this a good snugging up of where that needs to be so I can make my strap. So I think that's good right there. So if I can get this off without turning it. Okay, so let me get some material and we'll build a strap over to here. Okay, I've cut me a little strap here and I'm just going to kind of round the corners off a little bit. Okay. We'll just try to get to the center here. Looks pretty good. And we'll drill that. And we'll step this up a little at a time. And we'll take our deburring tool and take care of the burr a little bit. I know that's going to be hot, so I'll turn it around. Okay, looks good. All right, back over at the machine here. We'll take our strap we just made and start the screw. I think what I'll do is maybe if I loosen this up, I can get behind it with a little pair of vice grips, hopefully. Just like that. Okay. It'd be simpler if it was underneath. I could weld, tack it right here in place, but it's not, so. So now we'll tack it back here. Okay, what I've got here is a product that Eastwood sells. It's called Anti-Heat. It's kind of a putty. Sometimes it dries out and then you have to rehydrate it a little bit, but I think we're okay. And all you do is kind of mold it around where you're going to do the welding. And it will absorb the heat instead of the switch, you know, to a certain extent. So I've kind of got it dammed up around it there, so I think I can get a little tack in there, and I'll just take my time doing any welding so that it doesn't build up very much. All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, I think we got her tacked up. So we can get the vice grip off. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. Kind of stuck my vice grip a little bit too. Looks like I really need to rehydrate that a little bit. Let me do that. All right, I think we've got her now. So we'll let that cool, and then we'll grind that down and put a little more on it here just to pull that heat out. Stuff really works good. I've done some really sketchy things before and haven't had any problems, so it really does work. All right, just take all that off. I'll just go blow it off. Should get rid of most of it. And then I can sand off my little bead of weld on the back there. Okay, let's kind of grind that off a little bit. Okay, we're still all covered up here, so let's see if we can remove this. I think I can do that easy enough with a pair of 10 snips and then just finish grinding it off. I think that might be less intrusive here to my part. Yeah. Okay, See if I can find some kind of a finish to put on it. Okay, there's our switch. I thought I had some gold paint over there, but I think somebody, maybe my wife, used it. I can't find it. So we've got a little silver on there. That'll take care of any corrosion. And like I said, in this instance, the switch is behind the cover, so it's not a big deal. Let's go over there and see how it looks now. Okay, there she's bolted up. Everything out of the way here. There we go. Pretty nice fit, I think. It just, sometimes you just have to make things work. Like I said, this is all behind there. You don't even see it. And I think it'll work fine. It's just not worth sending a thing back overseas to get another one. You know, it's got the right amount of wires. They're the right color. You know, the switch works. Got some new keys with it. So everything should be okay. And there you go. So there you go, guys. Sometimes you just have to adapt and overcome. I think that's a Marine Corps saying, but it comes in very truthful a lot of times with this kind of stuff. You just, you know, you can't just be buying it, getting it shipped it back, all this stuff, all this logistics. You just can't do it, and if you're into business, you can't make any money that way. And in my situation, I just don't want to do it. You know, I probably should have paid more attention when I was buying the part, looked at the ears on that a little bit better, but I just had no idea there was more than one, and it just, you know, it's my fault, but I made it work, and you can too. So next time you find something like this, may not be a switch, it might be a switch, who knows? Just think about it and see what you can do to make it fit and still look okay. You know, that's the big thing. Anyhow, hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.